Alright guys, so today I'm going to explain to you about the fractal rules, exactly when you start counting the breaks and the pullbacks and everything. Today trade, I'm going to put it as example, but first we're going to do the drawing and then we're going to go to today trade. So for example, let's say that you're in a downtrend, creating lower highs and lower lows like this, and market's doing a pullback, like it's creating multiple breaks to the upside. So we already know if market do 2 breaks or more on 5 minutes, that means that internally we're bullish and we have to wait for the type of entries to happen, which is going to be breaking our favor first and then liquidity and everything, right? So let's say that we are bullish internally here on 5. This is a 4-hour order block or a 1-hour order block, whatever. So the first thing that we need to wait for is market giving us a break in our favor, okay? So if market give you a break in your favor here, I'm going to do 3 examples so you guys can understand exactly what I mean. So if, let's say market give you a break below right here on your favor. So it doesn't matter how many breaks it does on the pullback like this. It's still valid. The only way for it to be invalidated if market breaks above the swing here, create like a break with a full body candle. So break number 1 and then do a higher low and do a break number 2. At that point, this trade is invalidated. And we don't have to count any of those breaks right here internally. It doesn't matter. For it to be invalidated, you have to break above the swing here and do 2 breaks like this, as I just mentioned. Just when you have one break like this. But what happens if you have 2 breaks? Like say that the same scenario, market go here, do break number 1 on your favor, lower high, and break number 2. At this point, same thing. It doesn't matter how many breaks it has on your favor. It doesn't matter how many breaks it does on the pullback. If you only have 2 breaks on your favor like this, if you do this, it doesn't matter how many breaks it has on the pullback here. The only way to be invalidated is when market breaks above the swing here and do break number 1 and then higher low and break number 2. That's the only time this trade will be invalidated. But it doesn't matter how many breaks it does here on the pullback. One thing that I recommend you guys to do is like if market give you 2 breaks like that, break number 1 and break number 2, the sell idea is still valid. The only thing that I recommend you guys to do, instead of just thinking about this liquidity, just start waiting for the market to swipe this swing liquidity here, because most likely when market do 2 breaks like this internally, most likely it's gonna go to take the liquidity of the swing. Okay, so that's basically what I recommend you guys to do. The sell is gonna be still valid here. It doesn't matter how many breaks it does here. The only way it's gonna be invalidated if it breaks above the swing here, break number 1, higher low, and break number 2. Okay, but like I said, if it do 2 breaks like this, wait for the market to swipe this liquidity above the swing, which is gonna be a better and valid setup for you to take it. Okay, and when we start counting, when market do when we start counting the breaks internally, super simple. Let's say the same thing. So now we're gonna have break number 1, break number 2, and break number 3. At this point, if market do 3 breaks on our favor like this, now you start counting the breaks to the upside. And if you do 2 breaks or more, then everything is invalidated and you have to wait for the whole thing to happen again. So let's say break number 1 and break number 2. At this point, everything is invalidated and you have to wait for the whole process, which is going to be a break on your favor, liquidity, and everything. So if you do 2 breaks like this, everything is invalidated. That's when you start counting the breaks on the pullback, when you have 3 breaks or more on your favor. What happens if you just, instead of doing 2 breaks, you just do a massive push like this and grab liquidity? It's still valid. The only way for it to be invalidated, if the market breaks above the swing, do a higher low, okay, a higher low and a new higher high. Okay, but if you do 2 breaks or more on the pullback, then everything is invalidated and you have to wait for everything to happen again. So that's basically how the concept works. So if it is just 1 break on your favor, it doesn't matter how many breaks it does on the pullback here, as far as it doesn't do 2 breaks above the swing. If you do 2 breaks on your favor, it doesn't matter how many breaks it does on the pullback here. The only way to be invalidated if it breaks above the swing and do 2 breaks above the swing. But like I said, I recommend you guys to wait for this liquidity to be taken if you do 2 breaks or more here on the pullback. The sell is still valid. The only thing is that I recommend you guys to wait for this liquidity to be taken, and then as far as market doesn't do another higher low like that or 2 breaks, you can take the sell right here after that, which I'm gonna show you here in the picture. I mean, on the example of today's trade. And if you do 3 breaks or more, then you start counting the breaks on the pullback. If you do 2 breaks or more, then everything is invalidated, and so on and so forth. So here, today's trade, let's go and show you guys what I mean by this. Okay, so let's see here. So as you guys can see, we have a clear break in our favor, right? So it's tapping into the order block. I wait for this break on my favor, break number 1. So it's just 1 break. It doesn't matter how many breaks it does on the pullback here. It do break number 1, break number 2. So the only break that happens above the swing is gonna be this one right here, which is still valid because it's just 1 break. So that means if it just do the swing, that's basically liquidity grab, and I just wait for the small break right here on my favor, which is gonna be this one, and that's why I took it here, and it's valid. It wouldn't be invalidated if market would have break one more time above this swing here. If it does it, then everything is invalidated. Okay, so that's basically the whole idea here. I hope you guys get it. If you have any questions, just let me know, and I'll see you guys around.